Warsaw is a city that was destroyed and rebuilt. When you first see it through street view, the paradox becomes immediately visible. The old town looks medieval. It looks like it's been standing for 500 years. But it wasn't. It was built in the 1950s, reconstructed stone by stone after World War II, destroyed 85% of the city. That contradiction defines Warsaw. It's a city that had to choose whether to be what it was or what it could become. It chose to be what it was, to reconstruct itself, to remember. That choice is visible everywhere. Warsaw was bombed, systematically, methodically. The Nazi occupation was brutal. The ghetto was created. 400,000 Jews lived there. Almost all of them were murdered. Then the Soviet tanks came. The Soviet occupation lasted 40 years. The city was rebuilt under Soviet rule. That changed how it was rebuilt. The architecture reflects it. The planning reflects it. The energy reflects it. Now, Warsaw is free. For 35 years it's been free. That transformation is still happening. The city is still learning what it means to be Warsaw without occupation, without Soviet control, without the weight of trauma as the defining force. The Staromiejska, the Old Town, is the symbolic center. The rynek Starego Miasta, the Old Town Square, is surrounded by colorful buildings. Yellow, orange, brown, red. They look like they've been there for centuries, but they haven't. Photographs from 1939 show the same square completely destroyed. Rubble, ruins, nothing standing. After the war, Polish architects and citizens made a decision. They would rebuild it exactly as it was, stone by stone, window by window. They used old paintings and photographs as reference. They rebuilt the buildings. They rebuilt the square. Walking through the rynek today, you're walking through a conscious choice, a decision to remember, a decision to continue. The Schloss Warsaw, the royal castle, sits on one side of the square, rebuilt after total destruction. Now it's a museum, a symbol, a statement that Warsaw survived, that it came back. The narrow streets radiating from the square are named after the old merchants. Ulica Nowomiejska, Ulica Brzezina, Ulica Freta. They're paved with cobblestones. They're crowded with tourists and locals. It's where Warsaw performs itself, where it shows visitors the best version of the trauma, the reconstruction, the endurance. Moving north from the old town, you enter Krakowskie Przedmieście, the Royal Way, the main boulevard of Warsaw. It's lined with historic buildings and modern ones. The contrast is stark. Baroque church next to modern apartment building. 19th century structure next to glass-fronted contemporary development. The Church of the Holy Cross sits here. Baroque. Elegant, but scarred by war. You can see the damage on the stone, the bullets' marks from 1944. The city doesn't hide this. The Church of the Holy Cross has a special place in Polish culture. The heart of Chopin was buried here. After he died in Paris, his heart was brought back to Warsaw. The heart at home, the body in exile. That metaphor applies to Warsaw. The city's soul survived even when the body was destroyed. Walking down Krakowskie Przedmieście, you feel the history, the weight of it. The statues are everywhere. Copernicus, Adam Mickiewicz, Polish poets, Polish thinkers. The city remembers its intellectual life. Warsaw University is here. Young people, students, intellectual energy continuing, cafes, restaurants, life happening. The Weichsel River, the Wisła, flows through Warsaw, dividing it in two. For centuries it was a barrier, a division. Now bridges connect the two sides. Walking across the bridges, you see the entire city, the old center, the modern developments, the sprawl expanding outward. The river flows regardless. For millions of years before humans, it flowed the same way. It will continue after. The river is a constant. The city rises and falls around it. The Jewish quarter is where you encounter the full weight of Warsaw's trauma. The ghetto was established in 1940. 400,000 people crammed into a few blocks, walls built around them. For 3 years, they lived in conditions of starvation and disease. Then, in 1943, the Nazis liquidated the ghetto. They killed almost everyone there. The ghetto was completely destroyed. Today, Ulica Karmelika and Ulica Lesno and Ulica Nowolipki are ordinary streets. Apartment buildings, cafes, shops. People live there. But beneath the ground and in the stones is the weight of what happened. The monument to the ghetto uprising stands here. Massive, bronze, heavy. It was created to remember the uprising of 1943 when young people fought back. They had no weapons. They had nothing. But they fought. They rose up. They were killed, but they refused to go quietly. The monument captures that moment. The Nożyk Synagogue still stands. It's one of the only synagogues that survived World War II, because a Polish family hid it, protected it. Now it's still used, still active. Services still happen. The continuity is remarkable. The Jewish Museum opened in 2015. POLIN Museum. It tells the story of Polish Jews. 11 centuries of history. The relationships, the culture, the contributions, the tragedy. The museum itself is modern, built in the place of the ghetto, on top of the history, acknowledging it. The past and present coexist uncomfortably. That's Warsaw. That's what makes it authentic. The Pałac Kultury I Nauki rises above everything. The Palace of Culture and Science, a Soviet gift to Poland, built in 1955. 37 stories. It's visible from everywhere. You can't escape it. It dominates the skyline. Some people call it beautiful. Some call it a symbol of Soviet occupation. Most people have complicated feelings about it. The building is socialist realism architecture, monumental, heavy, with spires and ornaments. It looks like something out of a Cold War movie. It is. It was built to showcase Soviet power, Soviet superiority. Now it's just a building, a museum, concert halls, movie theaters, a 30th floor observation deck. From the observation deck, you see all of Warsaw spread out below. The scale becomes visible. The city is massive. It spreads for kilometers. The contrast becomes visible. The old center, the Soviet-era apartment blocks, the modern glass buildings, the parks, the rivers, the complexity, the Plac Defilade, the plaza in front of the palace, is vast and mostly empty. Occasionally it fills with people, concerts, rallies, but mostly it's empty. That emptiness is intentional. Soviet design, creating spaces for masses that rarely gather. It's eerie sometimes, historically appropriate for Warsaw. Nowa Huta, New Town, was a planned workers' settlement built by the Soviets. Broad streets, apartment blocks, parks, no organic development, pure Soviet planning, rational, efficient, utterly without charm. People live there, normal people, families. But the design reflects a particular ideology: control, order, the removal of individual choice. Today, Nowa Huta is being gentrified. Young people are moving in, cafes are opening, the area is transforming, but the bones of Soviet planning are still visible. Ulica Marszałkowska is Warsaw's shopping boulevard. Modern, Western. You could be in any European city. That's the point. It's the contrast to Soviet Warsaw. It's post-Soviet Warsaw.